Hi, everybody. This is Jim Cornette, pro wrestling legend, and you're listening to the Book in the Territory Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast.
This is the artist formerly known as Daryl Van Horn, James Mitchell, the Sinister Minister, and I'm here to let you know I would rather slam my cock in a car door than to miss the dulcet tones of Hard Body Harper, my illegitimate son, on Booking the Territory podcast.
Woo, Messi, this is professional wrestler Jimmy Valiant, the Boogie Woogie Man. Tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss Booking the Territory. Oh, yeah.
This is a one-man gang. You're listening to Booking the Territory Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of Book in the Territory, the Unprofessional Wrestling Podcast. For today, we are covering WCW Saturday Night on TBS from October the 31st, 1992. If you're listening to this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up icon to like the video, and then subscribe to our wonderful channel. We would appreciate it. And also leave a comment or two about what you love, hate, or indifferent about the show. Those pesky algorithms, they like that sort of thing, and it makes Harper very happy. Speaking of Harper, he's running late. He told us he'd be ready at a certain time, and as of this moment, as of us starting the show, he's 12 minutes late. That note, let me throw it to Doc. Doc, how are you? Hanging in there?
Oh, doing well as always. You know, we're out here living the dream.
Hanging and banging.
Hanging and banging. Ass or grass, you know, something. As we prepare to do this episode tonight, we're also mentally preparing because this weekend is WrestleMania. So by the time you listen to this, all the WrestleMania will be over, obviously. But as we're living the dream here in the present, recording this, we don't know what the hell's going to happen.
Do you care? I was thinking about doing a post show. By the time you hear this, you would have known if it would happen or not. I was thinking about doing a post live show.
Or you know how late that'll be?
Sunday. Well, since they went to 2 nights, it's been ending at a reasonable time and not a ridiculous hour like when they were having those 7-hour marathon WrestleManias before it went to 2 nights. And I did it last year. Me and the Canadians did a post show.
Oh.
Yeah. They got some interesting takes, those two. I'm going to say one goof and one's a good guy. The other one's kind of a goof. The Ive Gibson he's a special dude. But the other one, PN News Jr., he's a little bit more on the straight and narrow, if you know what I mean. But Gibson's
well, let me ask.
Else.
I don't think me or anyone else cares about those two. But I do want to ask you, how are you feeling about this? Are you excited? Are you, I'll watch it because it's WrestleMania, or like, hell no, they're going to tell some stories here?
Well, you asked me this. I'm glad you brought this up because you asked me this via DM one night several weeks back by the time this airs. And you were like, is WrestleMania, I forgot how you asked it, but I was basically the excitement level. Something like that. Does that sound about right for you?
Yeah.
And you just kind of weren't feeling it, but I was like, man, you really haven't had time to really sit down and watch SmackDown and Raw.
That's
and
true.
For me, as somebody who's watched pretty much all the SmackDowns and Raws for, say, the 2 months leading up to it, I would say certainly there are matches that are blah. I don't know how I feel about some of the stuff that's going to be on there because it's just not an emotional investment. Like the LWO versus Santos Escobar and Dirty Dom. I mean, even the Usos were wrestling each other. I don't know. But there are some things on night one with Rhea and Becky and Gunther and Sami Zayn. And then, of course, the Bloodline versus Cody and Seth. I'm looking forward to that. And then the second night is good, too. And I heard you say Harper's on, so let me go to that. So based on that, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, part of it is, and this was Vince's whole vision for years, other than the dirty parts, was that the promotion is the draw. And so for that level, and certainly some of the things you talked about, I'm going to be on board, and I'm going to try to watch it. Hey, Harper, how's it going, buddy?
Hey.
Well, it's time for us to transition topics. First of all, before we do, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
Okay. As you patrons know, we recently we covered the event. We all got in our cars and put on our hazmat uniforms and went to Philly and covered the Halloween Havoc. Boy, what a time we had. And
Jesus
tonight
Lord.
we need to cover the fallout from this particular event. And Mike, are you ready to start the episode?
Yeah, October 31st, 92. Boy, coming off of what we saw at Halloween Havoc with Jake the Snake and Sting, and as Ben Martin told me on Twitter, he sends me positive stuff. I love Ben. He said I eviscerated Watts with
I saw
take.
That tweet too. Good job, Ben. I appreciate that, because he said he was asking people, are you a patron? That's a good question to ask folks.
Yeah, he said I verbally eviscerated Watts, and that wasn't my point, but that was a Watts problem, and he didn't know how to admit it. So, but thank you, Ben. I appreciated that tweet and the others that I got that were positive. On that note, yes, it's October 31st of 92. We jump into this week's episode. This week was taped October 19th, 92 at Center Stage. So this is the second half of the taping. Remember, the week before this that aired before Halloween Havoc was the first half of the taping. Now, I also mentioned, and since Harper wasn't on that show, this is the same week that Greg Valentine walked out after noticing that he wasn't scheduled to appear on any upcoming shows. He was scheduled to face Sting on the taping, but when he realized he wasn't scheduled, he said, "See you later, brah," and he left, and we won't see Greg Valentine in WCW again until 1996. We get a voiceover from Tony Schiavone telling us what we'll see tonight, and we head to Center Stage to the ring. And then the other point of note, this was taped before, like I said, Halloween Havoc. So just a reminder there. Doc, any thoughts in the opening before we go to the first match with Vinny Vegas and Bagwell?
No, sir.
Yeah, so Harper, just so you know, I hope you caught that. Valentine is out, in case you ask where he's been and what's going on with him.
What did he do after this? Nothing, huh?
Let one of the experts DM you on the Facebook or Twitter, since you said you're going to get back on there.
I wondered, like these old veterans who just walk out. It's like, bro, where else you going to go, bro?
Well, he was working. I know he was working indies. He did work indies. Because I remember him.
Though, bro.
Bro,
it's like the Iron Sheik had the best mindset. They said, "Oh, we're going to bury him, and he's going to quit." He said, "No, bury me, because y'all still pay me six figures."
Right. Well, Sheik was even worse.
Mentality, that you gotta have.
Bruh, Sheik got buried, but they sent him home and just kept paying him in his contract. Sheik was a genius.
Dude,
getting six figures and just letting it roll over.
Sir, he went back to WWF for 93 and 94.
Valentine did?
And was on the Indies.
Yeah, I knew he did Indies. I remember that.
Okay.
But Iron Sheik was a little different. But I get your point, Harper, because it's like if you're there and you're like, oh, okay, you just maybe shut your mouth and keep getting that six figures. Right. But then again, it depends on.
Your best days are to say the least behind you, so keep milking that shit, bro.
Then too, you could be like Iron Sheik and just be like, I want to sit on my ass and make six figures. Some people have that mentality.
That's beautiful.
Right.
You bastard.
Right. All right, so the first match, Vinny Vegas versus Bagwell. As Vegas is coming to the ring, he's teasing Bagwell, asking how Bagwell's nose is because he injured his nose last time they wrestled. Bagwell tries grounding Vegas and works a leg, even got him in a figure four at one point. Doc, let me go to you. They did work about 10 minutes. What did you have from this?
I felt like Bagwell should have hit the ring. Like, you broke my nose, asshole, so I'm coming hot. I'm going to come in hot. Which led me to the thinking of, are these both of these guys too green to be doing a revenge angle, or they need some help?
There's no telling with what we're seeing with Bill Watts in this era. Because once again, I blame him for all the problems.
Okay.
You want all the credit, you get all the problems.
That's fair. During the match, JR tells us that the Havoc was the most watched WCW pay-per-view since Havoc 1990. And my question would be, would they have those numbers yet to be able to make that claim?
If they would, if he voiced this over after Havoc.
Even then, how long would it take to get numbers back then? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Dude, I'll be making up all kinds of shit, bro.
Right. We're pre-internet.
All kinds of shit because how you gonna prove it? You just gonna go along with it.
Yeah, we're pre-internet. It's not like you can look it up.
Dude, it's like forever. I legit thought that if you ate some Pop Rocks with Coke, your fucking stomach would explode. I thought that to my fucking 20s.
We all did, Harper. It wasn't just you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you could just fucking go along with some shit. Make it up. Fuck it.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
The internet exposed the business in many ways. Yeah. Any other thoughts, Doc, on this thing?
I don't know if I care, and I don't know that these good guys are good enough at this point in their career to make me care.
So Bagwell hits a flying shoulder off the top rope, but Vegas kicks out. Bagwell goes back to the top, jumps off, but Vegas catches him and then hits him with snake eyes. 1, 2, 3. Vinny Vegas, a.k.a. Kevin Nash. Would you go to high school with him? Wins the match. And that was that. So I'm going to assume you have no other thoughts. On that note, I am going to go to this next promo because I don't know what the hell is happening here. But I got to play it as Johnny B. Bad is looking extra dark here.
Extra dark? What does that mean?
Harper, do you? We haven't talked about this in several weeks or even a month or two. Look at how dark he is right here.
Bro, you know who he looks like, Mike? Who's that local guy that always play at Jazz Fest? The fucking black dude with the sunglasses, and he'll have
Aaron Neville?
No, that fucking thing on his chest, like the Cajuns would do with the spoon. You know what I'm talking about, bro.
No, I don't. You know what? If I saw a picture, I would.
Oh God!
You're gonna have to Google it.
Something.
Zydeco Mind Warp.
I forgot it, but he is the black dude that dresses just like that. You'll have that fucking thing the Cages will wear on their chest around their neck, and they'll play with a spoon. That like
I know.
Thing.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't know the guy's name.
The fuck was his name, bro? Because he's always be on TV on, hey, I'm so-and-so when you're watching Channel 4 or some shit. The fuck was his name?
I tell you what, won't you think about it? I'm going to play the promo because I don't know what the hell is happening here, but we got to play it and we got to discuss it after, Doc. Here's Johnny B. Bad with JR and Teddy Long.
Welcome, Bad Man.
I'm so outrageous, it's contagious.
I know that you've been very busy doing a lot of public relations things for WCW, but your wrestling schedule is going to be quite busy in the month of November.
That's right, Jimmy. You know something? Being a bad man is being a good person, and being a good person is being a smart person, and a smart person must stay in school. Don't be a fool. Stay in school. And Jimmy, I'm looking forward to coming back November 1st, because I'll tell you something, I don't sit down, I get down, because I'm a bad man.
Oh, hush you, Jezebel. You ain't pretty. I know pretty, and you ain't pretty. I'm the prettiest man in WCW.
Wait a minute, Scotty Flamingo. Now listen up. Now, with all that makeup, I must admit, you are pretty, but you're not as pretty as me. You see, I'm the prettiest man in World Championship Wrestling.
Listen up, you tired old Mustang. Scotty Flamingo is the prettiest man in World Championship Wrestling. You can look at me. Look at his pretty body. Look at his pretty face. I am the prettiest man in World Championship Wrestling.
You know something? I should give you the kiss that don't miss.
You know, Johnny B, someday I may give you the kiss that don't miss.
Word.
You know something? Everybody, listen up. Everybody is trying to look like Johnny B. Bad. Everybody's trying to dress like Johnny B. Bad because I'm a trendsetter. Because I am the prettiest man in World Championship Wrestling.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go back up to Rhubarb Jones.
What did we just watch there, Doc? Can you help me out?
I can't figure out what Raven's trying to do there.
It seemed very modern.
So first of all, they were talking about Johnny B. Bad's personal appearances, which is one of the things that's interesting because they talk about it when he gets fired, is that he didn't want to do one of the NASCAR events when they were doing that because it was his daughter's birthday or something. And Bischoff got up in his ass and he's like, look, I always do stuff for the company. So they're talking about it here. He's rhyming stuff and outrageous and contagious and staying in school. That's all. Everything Johnny B. Bad's doing fits his character. Raven is like a schizophrenic out there. Is he gay? Is he a B-boy? What are we doing?
I think he's supposed to be gay, huh?
But since when?
Since just now.
I'm watching this. My first thought was, this happened under Bill Watts' watch, and I know what people are going to say. Well, what about Exotic Adrian Street?
Different.
And he was on in Mid-South for Watts, but that was totally different than this. I don't. It sounds like they're setting up an angle to figure out who the prettiest wrestler in WCW is. That was my take, but that seems too simple. It's just like, what are we doing here? Like, why? Raven's calling him a Jezebel.
A what?
I don't know. I don't know. He called Johnny B. Bad, Mark Merrow, a Jezebel.
A Jezebel or a Jezebel or a Jezebel?
A Jezebel.
Okay, I was being funny. A Jezebel, whatever. However you say it, okay? But he's like, oh, hush, you Jezebel. Like, what? What? Huh? What was the goal here?
I don't know. I don't know what he's out there to do other than maybe get under Johnny B. Bad's skin, but not even do a great job at that.
This is, and then when he says I'm a trendsetter, guy, when he said, I was like, is he going to say he's a trend something else?
Whoa!
It did cross my mind the way he said it.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, this didn't happen, and I'm like, I don't know. The way I took it was Raven is trying to be
something,
a gay character.
Okay. Can we take a look at this fella in the white here?
Boy, that's where I was going next. So for everybody listening, if you're not on the video version, you got to get there because become a patron and see what we're talking about here at tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT.
Hold on. Our next match is Shanghai Pearson, Tex Slazenger versus Rex Cooper and David Lynch. Now, Harper, how would you explain our fellow friend, the enhancement talent on the left?
I think that's Rex Cooper, but I'm not sure.
He's just, first of all, he's got that mullet.
Now, explain the mullet, because it's not just a mullet.
It's the king of mullets.
With the shaved sides.
The shaved sides. It's and the worst is that singlet that he's wearing.
What's going on there?
It's like it goes down too low.
It's got a deep scoop, is what they used to call it.
Yeah, right.
It's a deep scoop singlet. Yeah.
It's a deep scoop. Oh, excuse me, Ric Flair.
No, I'm just saying that's what they called that back in the day. It does. The scoop of it goes down to basically his belly button.
He looks horrible, dude. He looks like someone that's probably, read on some registration list for, he probably can't be around a playground or a Chuck E. Cheese.
Does that guy know where wrestle? Does that guy know how to get meth?
Yes.
Okay.
He probably invented meth.
It's a food group to him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, man, look at this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wait till you see him bumping.
What they look like, huh? Like,
They're losing. Fucking... They're losing anyway.
Yeah.
All you gotta do.
I'm on TV.
All you gotta do is lay flat for 3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we saw some enhancement talents when we were in the studio days, though, where it's like, wow, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, man. He's lost. But wait till this Rex Cooper guy gets in the ring. Like neither one of these guys, you can tell they don't have much experience. But when Rex Cooper gets in the ring, the dude with the singlet is coming up, Harper. He can't bump. He don't know what he's doing. Just watch. I'm gonna get there. I'm like, what is he doing? He's lost. This is where he pinned. Okay, he's gonna come in here. Now watch what he's just. I don't know how to explain it, bro. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's like, look, it just looks awkward, man. Even when he's selling, he got his eye raked right there. It's like, just wait. There's more coming. I think he shoots him off and watch. It just looks like a tub of goo, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And this goes on for far too long.
My note was too long, but they do have a nice finish in that reverse DDT.
Yeah, they do.
They need a manager or some airtime or something here.
Oh, I think they're gonna have them cut some promos at some point.
Let's do it, man.
But
Who's the mask guy?
Oh God, what's his name? I just said it last week and I'm drawing a blank. The one without the mask is Mark Canterbury. These are the God ones, Harper.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But they know what they're doing. When Doc and I were talking about this, how they basically just invented a tag team. Our thought process was this happened because, well, the tag team division is just dissipated. The Steiners are just about gone, and Gordy and Dr. Death are gone. And okay, what are we going to do? We need some tag teams because we just lost two of our best ones, and we're treating Arn and Bobby like crap.
We're about to run off the Steiners too.
That's what I'm saying. The Steiners are just about done. So anyway, Doc, did you have any thoughts from this?
I already gave them to you.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, the way he hits the ropes. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to hit the ropes. The dude with the white singlet.
Yeah.
He runs up to him and then he turns and he barely hits him because he's scared. Mm-hmm. And that's actually natural. Unless you just have done it before. The first time you hit the ropes, it's not easy to hit the ropes. Guys who do it well, you think, oh, it's not hard. Bull crap. It takes... I've seen it all the time. Dudes going to him forward and break a rib, or they just don't know how to turn and lay their lats across it. And like Bobby Blaze told us one time, hook the top rope.
Yeah.
That's why I always have such appreciation for guys like Gordy or Wyndham that just hit them and fly into them.
Yeah, agree. Shanghai Pearson text Slashinger win, and that's that. The next match we go to is Brian Pillman versus James Klontz. Do y'all remember James Klontz?
Yes, he's the fellow with the top hat that we saw a few months back.
That's right. He was the magician fella.
Man.
Remember the magician guy, Harper, who had the top hat?
Oh, yes. The fucking tuxedo thing on.
Yeah, that's him. Look how different he looks.
Yeah.
That's him.
Like Larry Bird's crackhead cousin.
There you go. I don't know if he listens to the show, but he has visited our Facebook page a time or two.
There you go, buddy.
I've seen him comment.
I'm sorry. Kevin McHale's.
But his magician gimmick is gone at this point in time. He's got some tassels on his boots with a couple of stars, and he looks like he weighs 155 pounds. And he's facing Brian Pillman, so you know that's not going to last long. Doc, any thoughts on this?
Pillman needs new music now that he's a heel.
I guess.
Okay.
But here's the thing. You know why I say I guess? Because there's so much to be critical of in the promotion right now. That's like the furthest thing from my mind. Yes.
Okay, so that clip that he does at the end, right before the finish, he clips his leg from behind.
Let me go to
Is
it.
is that pretty dangerous when you're working with enhancement talent? Like, I get it that Flair would do it to guys in matches, but it just seems like it could be a cause for legitimate injuries.
I need to see it again.
Yeah.
You talking about this right here?
Yeah.
Nah, that's nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the weight's on his right leg, and when he clips him, if his left leg is just slightly off the mat.
I'm not saying that I thought it would. I'm asking you.
No.
Kid.
What you think, Harper?
Just answer the question.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's no big deal.
I want you two industry experts to earn your keep.
Industry experts. I love it.
That's right.
After the match, when Pillman wins, Douglas comes out and grabs the mic and challenges Pillman to wrestle right now. And Pillman attacks Douglas, and they're fighting for a while. And then we're going to go to Watts. Anyway, did you have any thoughts on that, Doc, as we kind of did that real quick?
Well, the way we've done Douglas outside of the pay-per-view and Pillman, let's do it, man.
Agree. Are y'all tired of Bill Watts right now?
No,
Yes.
let's hear more from him.
Oh, well, you got to hear this, because I think there's some irony here. It's something Bill Watts says. Let me play it, but it's Watts kind of being critical of Jake and Jake's reptiles, and then he's going to talk about Rude and the actions and getting Vader to wrestle for him at Halloween Havoc so he didn't have to wrestle twice. Lots of interesting stuff happening here, and let's get old Billy Boy Watts to explain.
Hold on. Why won't he say the word snake?
Because he doesn't want to offend reptiles.
Okay.
So he calls them legless lizards.
Hit the tape, Mike.
Here we go.
We sure want to thank everybody that participated in Halloween Havoc. First of all, for the Variety Club, that wonderful charity group, and they're inviting us to be a part of that charity function. The pre-Halloween Havoc affair on the Saturday night, where the fans got to meet all of their wrestling stars. They got to get autographs. They got to mingle with them. It was just terrific. For me, it was even more gratifying because I got to circulate and meet a lot of great wrestling fans, traditional wrestling fans, fans that have been upset with the cartoon aspect that has been presented in wrestling. And the biggest thing is they all said, we love what you're doing at WCW. We love the direction you're taking. We like the high-impact athleticism. And for me, that was very wonderful to hear that from the fans because you are the consumers. We also want to thank everybody that bought the pay-per-view, that invited us into their home for Halloween Havoc. I thought it was a great event. It had so much on it. It had young stars that are maybe the stars of the future. It had some of the tough, great ones of the day. I want to say this, we got to be made very foolish. We were caught unaware by Rick Rude's attorneys, Paul E's attorneys, and the situation where he got to have a surrogate, Big Van Vader, defend the U.S. title. But it's just a drama. It's life. It's ongoing. You've got to go with the flow. You never know what's going to happen. That's one thing about a live event like that. You can't stop and tape it. You can't do anything else. You got to go with it. And that's what we did. We did the best we could, and I thought it was an exciting match. But now I want to address Jake the Snake and Sting. You all, I believe, realized how worried about that match we were because of the implications of the reptile. We had even made them sign a waiver releasing us of any liability. We still even went another step. And we had the antivenom on hand in case Sting got bit. He didn't get bit, but Jake did. He took the antivenom into a private room. He didn't go to the hospital. Now, I don't know whether or not the snake was devenomized and just a tactical maneuver, but it's beyond what we consider good taste for professional wrestling, and we are banning the reptile. We want high-impact athleticism. We're not going to have a reptile involved.
He's banning the reptile.
So I gotta leave my turtle. So my turtle's gotta stay at the fucking house now.
Don't.
Motherfucker. Thanks, Jake. You fucked it up for the reptiles.
Put your salamander back in your pants.
They're amphibians.
Oh.
Aren't they, Mike?
I don't know, man. Don't ask me. What do I look like, a biologist? I'm just a classic wrestling commentator. Jesus Lord.
I had a great time at the event prior because I'm Bill Watson. It's great to be me. That's what I thought. And it's great to meet all you people that voted for the top rope rule that I just completely ignored.
Yeah, and I love how people will say, that's great, y'all got rid of the cartoon wrestling. And think of the dumb shit that we fucking saw at Halloween Havoc with that fucking wheel spinning, with the fucking snake fucking decorations.
Dude, that was my exact thought, Harper.
Don't fucking talk to me about fucking you ain't doing cartoony shit.
For real.
I mean, fuck, they might not have Doink the Clown on there, but bruh, at least they got some corny ass shit on there.
Watch this
finish with fucking Jake and his own snake biting him. They're like, dude, come on, bro.
Watts promo, I'm gonna call it a promo, further tells me that Bill Watts is stuck in 1985, 1986, 1987, trying to fight Vince McMahon when he needs to worry about his own product and his own management style.
Dude. Yeah, but why are you worrying about what the fuck they're doing? Worry about the shit show that you got, motherfucker.
Yes, because
I tell Latrell all the time when he's running in a race or something like that, stop running against everybody else. Race the finish line. If you race against the finish line, you'll come out a lot better.
They're banning the reptile.
The reptile.
Because there were so many reptiles.
I had a girlfriend do that to me once in 1995, and then I broke up with her.
Oh, man. Doc, no more reptiles, okay?
I got to go to the bar.
Come on, man. See, so this is a horned toad. Oh.
Dude, this
is just a mascot. Y'all had those by y'all? No, huh?
What bias?
Horned toads. Like the TCU mascot. That's out west, right?
We're not infiltrated by that nonsense.
I don't know what he was. Harper will like just use a lot of pronouns sometimes in general terms. When he said y'all got those by you, I was like, God, what? Reptiles? What are we talking about here?
No, because like TCU's in Fort Worth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they get the horned toads for that mascot. And that's what I'm saying. Like, is that around y'all? Because I've always pictured them as like in a desert or something.
Bro,
I think that's fair.
Yeah, but you can't say that. Where the hell does Tulane get a green wave as a mascot? I mean, that stuff's not always specific to where the school is.
I mean, they got tigers in Baton Rouge running around all over the place.
Okay. Oh boy. Any other thoughts on Bill Watts' hypocrisy right there and verbally vomiting again?
It's staggering after that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Maybe you should stop worrying so much about what is and what isn't cartoon wrestling and make sure you get Terry Gordy to the arena. How about that?
And that jacket he's wearing looks like it's dated as fuck.
He's dated as fuck.
I mean, look at that shit, dude.
He's not wrong. Look at that jacket.
He looks like somebody from a fucking Urban Cowboy or
He
something.
looks like a guy in the mid-'80s that lives in this area here who's going to get him a steak at the Petroleum Club on a Friday night.
Okay.
He looks like one of the guys I was paying off the SMU football players.
That was after dinner at what do you think they talked about at dinner at the Petroleum Club?
All right, we'll keep the show moving. That was great commentary there. The next segment we go to is a promo for the King of Cable tournament that is going to air on the show for several weeks. And it's called the King of Cable, and WCW is going to have this tournament to determine the most dominant wrestler on TBS. It's single elimination, and one of the matches is Sting taking on Pillman, Barry Windham versus Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts versus Dustin Rhodes, Big Van Vader versus Tony Atlas. And we are told that first the winner is going to get a trophy, and as we see here now in the video version. And the way they picked these 8 guys is 50 names were in a random draw, and these were the 8 names chosen of the 50. So that's how we got what we get.
50 names.
We picked that, and we somehow picked out the 8 best.
Right, and we somehow
close
picked
to
the 8 guys
best
that you see on TV almost every night, except Tony Atlas.
Yes.
That's fucking stupid.
And Jake's gonna be gone, so we ain't gonna see him in this. I don't believe soon. Yeah, Jake's time is just about wrapped up. More on that when we get to it. I won't spoil it for people who don't know what it is. If you can look it up online and see what happens. But
it's crack, isn't it?
Okay, genius. Anyway, King of Cable, Sting, Pillman, Wyndham, Rude, Jake the Snake will be replaced. Dustin Rhodes, Big Van Vader, Tony Atlas. The only name on there, and it's not that I insult him and say he's not a big name, is Tony Atlas. I mean, he's the only one on there who's the most recent name that's started in WCW. But even him, I mean, we all know who Atlas is. But yeah, that's going to be the King of Cable. The final, I think, is going to be at Starrcade. So they'll show matches on Saturday night, and then we'll get the final at Starrcade. And that's that. And we're not that far away from Starrcade.
That's what that was?
Yes.
I thought that was a fucking commercial popping up at TBS. And it was
No, it's a tournament.
Oh my God.
It's not that bad.
Fucking Cable.
I don't hate it.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
It could be a lot worse.
Commercial for TBS. I thought that was a bumper coming up.
You thought it was a bumper for a movie or something?
No, for like TBS, we're the King of Cable. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Gotcha. No, it's a tournament.
Jesus Christ. Good for you. The King of
All right.
Cable. The fuck does that even mean? What are you, fucking Larry King?
Harper's very, very pissed off these days.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't think of something better than that than the King of Cable.
And just remember, tournaments always sound better in wrestling than they end up being.
And then I guess they had the King of the Ring in WWE. Like, okay, we're got the King of Cable.
Yay.
Yeah, I guess.
Christ almighty, bro. That's your people.
Well, let's continue. From there, we come back and we see Jim Ross throw to a special feature on Eric Watts.
Oh, my God.
And, God, no.
If you play this, I'm leaving.
No, I just
Leadership.
don't. This is nepotism at its finest. This guy was a legit D1 quarterback, as we've said before. But that does not translate into him needing to be on primetime television on my pro wrestling program. And that's, I'm going to keep saying that. And I feel bad for him because he's in a no-win situation. As I've said before.
He's absolutely in a no-win situation. But let's get to 4 things that he thinks are important, which is leadership, competition, intimidation, and career. This was god-awful.
This reminds me of like a commercial for like Reebok or something.
This reminded me of a Saturday Night Live skit on a wrestler.
Career.
Yeah, I could see that.
Dan versus Dave. Who's gonna take it in Barcelona? Remember those commercials?
I do.
Yeah, I do. And then one of them didn't even qualify.
Yeah.
In those trials were in New Orleans at Tag Only when they refurbished it in New Orleans. I think I said this, Doc, so if I'm repeating myself, please let me know. They should have named him something else. The world did not need
something else.
Yes, they could have.
His ego wouldn't allow it.
Jordan's kid, something else.
Okay. The problem is nepotism.
What they should have done is let him get a little bit more seasoning somehow, somewhere.
Yes.
Because it's not working, bro. It's like, come on. Is this what we're doing?
Right.
All right. We'll continue. It just wasn't.
He is making a hero out of Michael Hayes, though, later.
Yeah, we'll get to that. The next match is Johnny Gunn, who we saw at Halloween Havoc, but I don't think you've seen on Saturday Night yet. Well, maybe you have, now that I think about it. He is a Z-Man clone. He's taking on Fred Avery. It's been a while since I think we've seen Fred Avery as an enhancement talent. Anyway, Doc, this is a quick match. Do you have anything from it before I go to the finish? Because I got some thoughts.
I fast forwarded.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So the finish. This is insane. Gunn.
That's what Tommy Rich was doing, right?
Oh, you took my thunder. Gunn is finishing people with the Thez press. So we got rid of Tommy Rich, who was doing the Thez press, for this guy to do it. And here's where I shock every one of our wonderful listeners. Bring back Tommy Rich.
Whoa.
Because I don't need to see Johnny Gunn do a Thez press ever again, and I'm going to see it quite a few more times.
Man, that looks horrible.
It's bad. Look,
the guy looks like he's being violated.
Right, that's what I thought. Watch the way he's laying on him, and then he's gyrating up and down.
Jesus, he's
like, what's
down?
Settle down, man.
You have to spray you with a hose.
I mean, you know. Look, I'm not just. What are we doing here, man? Doc, this episode is halfway through, not even, and I'm like, this is the shits.
Can it be over?
No, we're getting there, though.
Because next is the saga of the U.S. title.
Yeah. So we continue. We're shown several replays of WCW Saturday Night and Halloween Havoc with Rude and Watts and Medusa and Paul Lee, and we're rehashing the problems with Rude and Rude weaseling out of the wrestling at Havoc twice, and Vader ended up wrestling Nikita. Again, you can listen to us break it all down on Patreon, tinyurl.com/PatreonBTT. And Nikita did lose to Vader. Paul fired Medusa, and they started throwing blows. We talked about that at length on the pay-per-view. 6-minute recap. Not really much for us to discuss because we've already talked about it. Agree, Doc?
Yep.
Harper?
Right. Whatever, Michael.
Now remember,
you're losing us, Mike. You better do something.
Yeah.
Remember, blame Bill Watts. Remember, this was filmed before Havoc, so that means that's why we're getting all these replays. We then get a replay of Robbie Walker and Cactus Jack and Tony Atlas. Harper didn't see this.
They bleeped Tony this time.
Yes, but I almost want to play this so Harper can hear.
But they bleep
so Harper can hear Robbie Walker what he tells Cactus. I'm gonna play it from this moment. Do you know what I'm talking about, Doc?
Not really.
When Robbie Walker told Cactus, "Man, you ain't even black enough to be in this."
Well, I'm not black at all, sir.
Right, so here it is. Oh, they bleeped the whole thing.
Here by Robbie Walker.
Tony, man, what seems to be your problem, brother? Hey, why you sweating the man the way you doing?
Should I ask you something? You man, you sportsman.
Hey, this don't concern you. Why don't you just
look,
get
man.
away from here? No.
You ain't black enough to be in this. So, Tony, why?
How many?
I asked this last time.
Harper, how many times has Mike told us that?
Every damn time before he hits play.
I've never said that before to you all, so shut up.
You
no.
Dick.
So, Harper, just so you know, you weren't on the show. Tony Atlas called Ron Simmons nappy head, big lipped. Like, he was being extremely racist. He called him an Oreo. He was going off on Ron Simmons, and that's why Robbie Walker came out there and was like, "Why are you sweating Ron?" And he told Cactus, "You're not even black enough to be in this." And what I told Doc was, "He's not even black. What does he mean he's not black enough? He's a white dude from the Northeast." This is what we've been doing here the last couple of weeks before the paper.
Well, who's Robbie Walker? I don't remember him.
You don't remember Robbie Walker? Neither did Doc. But I did find out something from Silva on Twitter. Robbie Walker is Thunderbolt Patterson's nephew. At least he cuts better promos than Thunderbolt.
That's true.
If you move.
If you move. If you move, Cactus. Oh, I'm so full up to here. You ain't even black enough to be out here. All right. Anyway, Robbie Walker is taking on Cactus Jack, Doc. Any thoughts, or did this get the fast forward 2 from you?
What?
This match. Cactus and Robbie Walker.
Nah. One thing I ask here is, we talked about Valentine earlier. Is Terry Taylor going too?
That's a good question. I think so.
Okay. 5150, I had the words, no thanks.
Right there. That's it. I forget the name of this, but Cactus diving off the apron, flipping on the Walker.
Yeah.
That's not that bad, though.
Okay. Yeah. That didn't look bad because he lands on him.
Yeah. And even Robbie Walker, I don't know. That's not that bad.
Okay.
The worst thing that happens there with Cactus is at risk of breaking an ankle if his feet don't hit right. Like if he keeps his legs and feet tucked too much and his ankles plant into that ground, that's how you break an ankle on that move. I've seen that happen before, actually. People taking suplexes in a ring and just not taking it right, and they break an ankle on a move like that.
Oh, like they over-rotate?
No, they don't over-rotate, but like if you notice when Cactus dives and flips off the apron, if he doesn't like kind of extend his feet out so that they don't just jam into the concrete when he flips, you see how his feet,
I see what you're saying.
If he sticks his feet too much and they get caught, you can break an ankle, and I've seen that happen before. So you basically got to take that on your rear, like that's your padding, and not allow your feet to take it, because it will send a shock up your leg, and you can break an ankle or a foot on that. And I've seen that happen. And that same thing, the way he's taking that bump, you'll see guys take a suplex, and if they don't have their feet right, it's possible if they hit wrong in the ring. I've seen it happen too, like that. Anyway, so Cactus, the finish, this is what Harper said ooh to. When Robbie Walker's getting in the ring, Cactus does that double arm underhook. Jesus Lord, it looks terrible. They fall to the ground like a pilot, like a turd in a turd bowl. Look, what the hell was that?
He ain't black enough to take that DDT.
Nah, he sure is.
Well, Robbie Walker is very black.
Oh.
I don't know whose fault that was, but that did not look good at all.
It's almost like he didn't have all his wits with him.
I don't know what was going on. It looked bad, though. Anyway, Cactus wins, Doc. Any other thoughts?
Not one.
So I'm not going to play this next segment, but Jim Ross throws to Tony Schiavone, who is sitting down with Dustin Rhodes for an up-close and personal interview. It's very lengthy. Dustin says, essentially, there's no problem with he and Barry, which is really odd because they've been in this lover's spat. And Dustin does claim, like brothers, they fight, but it's not really personal. And then Tony says, Dustin, tell us about your aspirations on being a singles champion, which seems really odd, but I don't blame Tony Schiavone. He's getting the direction from Watts. It's just that Dustin is a world tag champion right now. Why would he be thinking about the singles title? And Dustin then says, well, my main goal is to be the U.S. champion. But he's currently a member of the unified WCW and NWA tag champs. So I summarized what we had there inside of about 5 minutes. Doc, what are we doing?
What are we doing? But here's my question. That shirt he's wearing, that's the shirt that all of us had in 1992 when we didn't have any nice clothes, and that was the one shirt we wore to things.
Right. Yeah, like the family barbecue.
Tell the truth, Harper. You wore that to Kenny's Key West, too.
Oh, yeah. If I'd be wearing that to fucking Mustang Sally's. Remember that place?
Jesus Christ. I went in there one time, the one in Metairie, because one of my partners, the only one that I knew that listened to country music, brought me in there. I was like, bruh, I'm never coming to this place again. And then to tie it into wrestling, remember they had one in Slidell?
Right.
the one in Slidell had a wrestling show once, and I was on the show.
Ugh.
Twice, actually. I worked Rod Price both times. I have video of it, of one of them.
Way to work in Rod tonight.
Mustang Sally's in Slidell had a wrestling show in the route about the year 2001, maybe? Wild. We were supposed to have one at the one in Metairie, but the one in Metairie closed, and then the one.
Did you have a 5-star match or in a 25% full building?
Well, the Mustang Sally's in Slidell wasn't that big. The one in Metairie was bigger, Harper. I don't know if you went to both, but the one in Slidell was. It was pretty full. I mean, when I say pretty full, like 250 people. That's all you could fit in there.
Damn.
But I didn't have a 5-star match. No. We just kind of beat the shit out of it.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. Even though I think Mustang Sally's in Slidell now is a church.
That's probably better.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is now.
Which one? The one in Metairie?
Nothing. The Mustang, the one in Slidell. The one in Metairie's now like an Office Depot or some shit.
That makes sense because that building was huge.
Yeah.
Did you find that out when you were looking for printer cartridges?
I went in there trying to get some ass, and I'm like, where's Sissy? And they're like, she's off today, sir. Can I help you with a new printer?
Get in the truck. Oh, boy. All right.
You know, Luke saw quiet right there.
At Mustang Sally's?
Yeah. He always tells the story. It says
okay.
It was when he was a little bitty kid, and they invited him on the fucking tour bus with them.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds riveting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of riveting, let's get this riveting show back on track. Doc, did you have any thoughts on Dustin's promo or conversation? Let's go now to Jake Roberts. Remember, if you're watching on video, Jake's got a couple of bandages on the left side of his chin because he got bit by his own snake. Yes, you heard that right. tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT if you want to listen to us break down that debacle and catastrophe.
I thought that was your little arrow pointer thing.
No, that's the snake bite that he's got bandaged on his face. Let's go to Jake now and hear what he's got to say.
I will leave WCW frustrated once again because the powers that be lay down a heavy rule and say, no more snakes. You don't get it, do you? Sit down, children, and shut up. Because I'm going to tell you something. The reptile in the bag, that's not the snake. The snake is right here. Jake the Snake. I could do anything with Eve I wanted to, believe me. And make her happy, I did. But I want to ask you this. You think for one moment that that was what made Jake the Snake? No. The DDT is what made Jake the Snake. No doubt about it. I invented it. I perfected it. Nobody gets up now, do they? We all know that. Sting, what I'm telling you is simple. You get away once, there's another day, brother. I get bitten, sure. When you play with snakes, you're going to get bitten. So you must remember this. Dropping you on that chair once, yeah, that was fun. Dropping you on it twice, yeah, that was nice too. But let me ask you this, Sting. Have you ever thought about the possibility, since there are no mats at ringside, if I DDT'd you on a concrete floor, just what would your head sound like inside? Huh? Now, that's a rush now, isn't it? You think about it. What would you look like? Or would you look at all? I don't think you would. You see, Sting, you have ears, but you cannot hear. You have eyes, but you do not see. But Jake the Snake can make you feel as bad as I want to at any given time. And remember this, a reptile in a bag is not what this snake's all about. The DDT, I will use it, I will abuse you, and my friend, I will enjoy it.
Doc, your thoughts on Jake right there?
I thought it was a really good promo, but if you could do it anytime you want, why didn't you do it at the pay-per-view?
Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that a lot of times about somebody's promos.
I know. Man, that was good when he goes, "I'm the snake."
Yeah, I thought he did a good job of cleaning up Watts' mess, banning reptiles. Like, he kind of halfway, Harper, you agree with this? He kind of halfway made the most out of Bill Watts' bullcrap earlier.
That's not easy to do.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent promo.
And that Band-Aid was fucking distracted as fuck.
Right, on his chin. Where the cobra bit him. Yeah, I thought Jake was very sinister there, and I just thought the line where he says a reptile in the bag is not what this snake is all about. I really thought he just kind of made Watts' bullcrap earlier make halfway sense as best he could.
Yeah.
Continuing along though, Nikita Koloff is taking on a gentleman by the name of J.R. King, who also doesn't know how to hit the ropes, kind of like Rex Cooper earlier. And Harper, you got any commentary on this dude? He's kind of frumpy looking. He's got a singlet, but it's not a deep scoop. And first off, look at a headlock. That headlock's terrible. The left leg.
It's
the
fucking
left
feet
leg.
aren't fucking set.
Not at all. I'm like, this is bad. The left leg is in front of Nikita. It's so wrong. And then when Nikita shoots him off into the ropes, watch how he hits the ropes. Dude, this is like a wet turd. All right. Doc, any thoughts on this match?
It was quick, thank God.
Yeah, Russian sickle by Nikita for the win. And that was that. Not really much else to report. Now we go to Michael Hayes, Bobby Eaton, and Paulie Dangerously, though. And I think this is what you were talking about earlier, Doc, with Michael Hayes.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear Michael Hayes. He might get the Rolex on this one or the Toot Toot Award.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're here with Michael P.S. Hayes and beautiful Bobby Eaton. In a few moments, it'll be beautiful Bobby and Eric Watts in a big one-on-one confrontation, Michael.
You know, we had some unfortunate circumstances take place here last week. And that's when the man that signs our checks, Paulie, you shut up out there. Paulie was embarrassed by somebody that wasn't competent enough to do what he wants done, and that's take Bill Watts' kid out, Eric Watts. This week, different chapter, different story, different ending. Bobby Eaton is one of the most accomplished wrestlers out here today. And I used to beat up Bill Watts when I was a kid. So if you're back there listening, Watts, let me let you know, this time, Paulie will not be let down. But we're going to take care of that punk of yours.
The first thing that I want to say is that I'm not a very happy man right now. Medusa has taken a lot of money and not produced. The Punk last week in the Mask didn't produce. The only person that I've delegated authority to that has produced is this man, the perfect strategist, Michael P.S. Hayes. So let's make one thing clear, if you don't mind, Mr. Hayes. Could I join you at ringside for this match tonight?
Join us, we'll make it a tailgate party.
Let me say this one thing on the record, Eric Watts, you inbred Oklahoman. This is the game of human chess. And with the unmatched physical ability of Bobby Eaton and the strategy of Michael P.S. Hayes and the wrath of Paulie Dangerously, you are in a position that's called checkmate.
I hope you're watching, Daddy.
Doc, your thoughts?
I thought he sounded great there. Like, just, I'm tired of your crap. I'm tired of this booking. I'm tired of all of this. So I just beat you up. We're going to beat up your kid. And I hope you enjoy it.
Harper, you got any thoughts on Hayes or Paulie calling Eric Watts an inbred Oklahoman?
I just can't wait to see if he stays unbeaten.
Who?
Watts.
Eric.
Roll the tape,
the commercial.
Mike.
Because the commercial right there. So will Eric remain unbeaten? Find out next. Yeah, let's roll the tape. I thought Hayes and Paulie right there are just speaking truce. But let's go to the match. It's the main event on the show. Eric Watts versus Bobby Eaton with Michael Hayes and Paulie at ringside. And I got a timestamp at 107:55. Watts slaps, or as we call, paint brushes the piss out of Bobby Eaton in the ring, coming up right here. The crowd was into that. And Watts kind of did dominate. There it is, when he slapped Eaton, and give Eaton credit for selling the hell out of it. Watts dominated the match early on, but he just moves awkward in the ring, almost like he's young and not sure because he's young and not sure. He's not fluid or smooth. He's also got a funny walk in the ring. I can't describe it. Anyway, Doc, what do you have from this?
Well, on the way out to the ring, PS goes, "Let's go, I'm in a hurry."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's, thoughts on
that? Just, hey, yeah, he's probably not lying. But regardless of what you think about what's going on here, and I think we all tend to agree, if you're going to do it, even if it's a bad idea, at least it's smart to put him in with Bobby Eaton.
Yeah.
And they work real slow at the beginning, and I'm wondering if Eaton was told, hey, get him out there and show him how to go slower than slow with him so that he gets it.
Maybe. I know Bobby was bouncing around the ring for him, so.
Right.
JR does say at one point, some people aren't going to like him because he's Bill Watts' kid.
JR was not wrong. The reason Harper said, just now, I had a timestamp. Eric Watts punches Eaton, and Eaton kind of takes a bump on the apron, as only Eaton can. It looks great, and he falls off. Eric Watts gets on the apron, and it's almost like he gets caught in between trying to drop kick him and just kick him. And I was like, God, that's just how you break your leg right there.
Bruh, that looked dangerous.
It did. Like, that's one of those ones where you can break your leg. See that leg that hits, the left one?
Yes.
That's how Sid broke his leg coming off the ropes on Nitro.
Because when you drop kick, you're supposed to land flat.
Yep.
And he's not landing flat at all.
At all. That leg would catch and snap like a twig.
So after it snaps like a twig, JR also says he happened to be on a plane with Howard Schnellenberger when he was recruiting Eric.
Who rode on a plane? JR?
JR. Yeah, that's what he said here in the match.
He rode on with who?
Howard Schnellenberger is
after he left Miami, he went to Louisville, and he was the coach for Watts at Louisville.
Oh, okay.
Schnellenberger's the guy that set it all up at Miami for Jimmy to come make it successful.
Yep. Right. Schnellenberger was the one who, at least the stories are told, when Miami became the U and the school in the 80s, it was Schnellenberger who, from my understanding, was the one who was like, we got all these great athletes here, like not only in state, but like in town, in Miami, South Florida. Like, we can build a national title just from kids here. And Schnellenberger was the guy who got the ball rolling, and not saying Jimmy didn't earn it, but Jimmy won with a lot of Schnellenberg's players. Like, it's a fact. So anyway, that's who Howard Schnellenberger is, and he coached several other places, even after Louisville, I believe. Was a real good coach for his time, though. And he was Eric's coach, obviously.
There was another spot here where Watts actually throws a really decent right hand at one point on Bobby, but then he comes back a couple of minutes later and throws a series of the worst right hands I think I've ever seen. And it's just that point of you when you say it's not being fair to him, he's not in a position to be consistent with things.
Too young. Too young. Way too young. Too much too soon. And everybody knew it. Except Watts.
It would appear as such.
Yep. Doc, any other thoughts before I go to the finish?
Dude, at the finish, Heyman climbs up on the apron and just basically bear hugs the ref for minutes on end.
Yes, he did.
And I don't know that.
now.
And
go ahead.
I don't know that I want to talk about the finish.
So Eaton misses the Alabama Jam off the top rope. Watts then puts Eaton in a submission move. Hayes is in the ring while Paul Lee distracts the ref. And like Doc said, Paul Lee is bear hugging the ref. Bear hugging him to stop him from checking things out. There's a fireman carry on Hayes from Watts coming right here. It's actually as Hayes comes off the ropes. Watts pins Hayes.
Wait, what?
Nick Patrick counts 1, 2, 3. And let me tell y'all, I saw this in Mid-South a time or two. And this was a Bill Watts thing that he would do. It makes no rhyme or reason because Hayes was not in the match. If anything, it should have been a DQ and not Hayes getting pinned by Eric Watts. So it just makes things look like, what are we doing?
So I could see doing something like that, like at a house show, not on
Right.
TV.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I agree.
need this racist motherfucker to just come on out and say it so we can get rid of him.
Come on. Which one?
I didn't say I want him to be racist. I said he's already racist, so it's going to happen. So let's speed it up.
What you're really saying is, can we fast forward to late January or early February of 93 so we can be done with this idiot?
Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Dude, Bill Watts is bad during this era. And, like, I mean,
all I could think about during this was Daddy said sell.
Daddy said sell. Daddy said sell. All right, before we get out of here, that was the main event. Eric Watts wins. He pins Hayes, who wasn't even in the match. He was a manager for Bobby Eaton, and Paul Lee throws a fit in the ring. Let's go to Bill Watts, Shane Douglas, and, well, Brian Pillman's going to come out too. So let's hear this, and this is how they close the show.
Everyone to WCW Saturday Night here with Cowboy Bill Watts and Shane Douglas. And Bill, the youth movement in WCW certainly is very exciting.
It certainly is, and we want to thank everybody that was at Halloween Havoc. We certainly appreciated their participation. One quick thing about my son Eric. First of all, if Michael Hayes and Paul E. Dangerously, if currency was the truth, they'd both be bankrupt. But I want to say I never did anything for my kids except given an opportunity. And Eric's got a little brother named Micah that was pretty tough too. And they've had to fight their entire life because I've been a controversial guy, and these aren't the first two they've run into that don't like me. But again, I wanted to thank Shane Douglas for coming out here. He's another one of the young guys that we want to have here on WCW, the stars of tomorrow. And I understand that Shane's had quite a problem with Pillman, issued a challenge. And what I wanted to say, Shane, is we're going to get with Dusty Rhodes and the booking committee, and we're going to try to get that bout right here next week on TV.
Next week, Mr. Watts, it's a real shame we don't have a little TV time left on this program, because I certainly don't want to have to wait a whole nother week to show this Magnum TA crony who the better man is.
Well, I don't know how much time we have, but you've been butting into everybody's match. Let's get it in the ring. Let's get a referee out here, and let's hook him up. Let's hook him up right now.
And Pillman starts off kicking Shane Douglas. Fans, we don't have a lot of...
All right, so Bill Watts wants to set us hot going off air. Too bad the rest of the program was the drizzling diarrhea dookie. Doc, any thoughts on this closing promo?
I mean, he didn't give his kid anything but opportunity and 30 minutes of TV time and a win, but whatever. But I said it earlier, and I'm sticking with it. I like the idea of Pillman and Douglas where we've been going here. So, and I you can say whatever you want about the going off the air. That's an old trick of theirs too, and it's fine. I see why they do it. They're getting you ready for next week. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's plenty enough to hate. There's plenty enough to hate here without hating that.
Oh, I agree.
Yes.
Any other thoughts, Harper?
No. That was the best part.
Yeah. We ought to kick that show that does the ECW review. We need to kick them off the network and just switch over and start doing that, because I'm done with this shit.
He's joking, y'all. I'm going to do a first tonight with this show and with the rating. So
Okay,
just
that's
a teaser.
Hey, new things are good. So what are you going to rate it tonight, Mike?
Well, first, remember the only way you can listen to our review of Halloween Havoc is by going to tinyurl.com/Patreon BTT. Not only will you get Halloween Havoc, you'll get all of our Patreon content, 400 plus episodes available there. Best way to support this show. And now it's time to rate it, hand out the Toot Toot Award, all that good stuff. Doc, this is getting an F+.
I don't think you've ever gone that low.
Come on, Michael.
This was terrible. This episode sucked. It sucked really bad. It was. I constantly was like, "What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing?" It sucked. I'm tired of Bill Watts in WCW at this point. I'm like you. I'm like, can we fast forward to January, February next year?
Let's get to the racism.
No, I don't want to get to the racism because he's a jerk off and an asshole for being a racist. No matter how many times he tries to tell people he's not racist. I booked JYD was my top star and I made Ron Simmons a champion. Congratulations. You green is your favorite color. It had nothing to do with them being black men. So stop. That's like on Kings of Comedy when they're like, it was like the guy goes, I'm not racist. There have been 8 black people in my house this year. If you know how many black people have been in your house, you racist like a mother. Okay? I'm sorry. That's the whole King is a Comedy bit for people who don't know what I'm talking about. I don't mean that literally, but you get the joke of it. Dude, this dude is terrible right now. This is bad. This is bad TV. Like, this is AEW level bad.
Uh-oh. Now we're all gonna have to get a security detail.
F+.
Cry me a fucking river.
Jesus. Doc, what are you rating it?
I'm going to try to retrieve this with some semblance of realism here for everybody. I'm going to tell you right now that this was a D.
Okay. Harper?
I'll give it a C- to be nice, so they can.
Jesus.
Well, it's a passing grade.
Okay. We're going to move them on through so we don't have to deal with them again next year.
Exactly. It's going to be someone else's problem.
There you go.
Okay. That's great. Okay, Doc. Well, who gets your Toot Toot Award?
Michael Hayes.
I'm torn between Hayes and Jake because I feel like Jake was trying to make something out of Watts's bullcrap.
Yeah.
Whereas Hayes was not shooting, but just
dude, you gave it an F-. Don't overthink it. Just give it to somebody.
You're right. Let me give it to Jake. Yeah. Harper, who are you giving it to?
I'll give it to Jake's Band-Aid.
What do you think that thing smells like?
Oh boy, fucking whiskey and fucking Coke and fucking Marlboro Reds. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Marlboro Reds, really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You think Jake smoked Marlboro Reds?
Fucking right.
At that point, he did. Yes. Later on, maybe not.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough.
Because you always start off with the Reds because you're
you're tough.
You fucking pussy. Yeah.
Right. 100%.
Wait.
You're like, damn, this shit hurts.
So you go for the Reds are strong, but then you're like, all right, this is too much. So then what do you go? What do you go to? The lights after the Reds?
There's one of two routes. You either go to lower of that, or when you're a crack addict and you don't have the money for the name brands, he might have been on the basics later on.
Basics basics are the all those cheap brands are gone. You had Basics, Mavericks. Remember the fucking Harley cigarettes?
Yep.
And then they turned into Mavericks, GPCs. Dude, Mustangs were the cheapest fucking cigarettes. There was a brand called Mustangs. They were 75 fucking cents when I was in fucking high school. And they tasted like you think they would. But fucking
ass.
Yeah, I mean, dude, fucking 3/4, dog. We got a pack of smokes. All right. Fucking Mustangs. Ooh, those were some. You take 2 puffs and it's gone.
All right. Okay. Harper, who are you giving your Toot Toot Award to?
I'm giving
He
it
said
to
Jake's
Jake.
bandage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because I want Jake to go, because he's about to roll out, right?
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is he's going to check himself into rehab.
Oh, that's where he goes?
Yeah, for like the, I don't know what number of time it was back then.
Oh, that's right. Then he goes to, right.
But he's about to check into rehab, yeah.
I found some old pictures. I was digging through this box of old pictures from a house show that we went to in like 95 or 6 at UNO. It is Jake versus the Goon. And it's a perfect picture of him fucking DDT and the Goon.
Is that the night Undertaker wrestled Ron Simmons?
In the cage?
Yeah.
Yep. That was it.
I was there.
Yeah, and then you had Goldust versus Crush, and you had the new Blackjacks versus the Godwins. I can't remember what was the other matches.
I don't remember either. I just remember the main. I barely remember the Goon and Jake, but
I remember
Simmons,
this fucking Crush fucking gives Goldust a pile driver, right? And so Crush has, Goldust's makeup rubs off on his crotch, and some fucking dickhead, how these assholes are like, oh, you got that from, he was sucking your dick or something. He's like, yeah, like your mom was last night. And the whole crowd's like, yeah, ooh, do something, bitch.
You know who I was with that night, Harper?
Joe Price.
Joe Kane.
Oh, Joe Kane, the Prince of Persia.
Yeah.
Pain.
Prince of Pain, Joe Kane. Oh, man. Memories. All right, well, it's about time to get out of here, Doc. Any closing thoughts before I throw it to Harper to hit the tagline?
Let's go.
Yeah, this episode pisses me off. Harper, hit the tagline. Let's roll.